Imagine being banned from the sport you love, then coming back 8 months later to become a world champion, and not just any champion, the first Asian player to ever win it. This is the story of Zhao Xintong, and it's about to change everything. On May 5th, 2025, something historic happened at the most famous snooker venue in the world. The Crucible Theater in Sheffield witnessed a moment 56 years in the making. A 28-year-old from China named Zhao Xintong lifted the World Championship trophy, becoming the first Asian player to ever win snooker's biggest prize since the modern era began in 1969. But here's the crazy part, just 8 months earlier, this guy couldn't even play professional snooker. He was serving a ban, and now experts are saying he could become the richest snooker player in history. Let me tell you why this matters way more than you think. Let's rewind to September 2024. Zhao Xintong had just finished serving a ban that kept him off professional tables for 20 months. Most players would be rusty, nervous, maybe even broken, but Zhao, he did something nobody expected. He didn't jump straight back to the big leagues. Instead, he started from the bottom, literally playing on amateur circuits in Europe. Think of it like an NBA star going back to play college basketball. It takes serious humility and determination. In December 2024, he won an event in Austria. That victory gave him a wildcard entry back into professional tournaments, and from there, he was unstoppable. Zhao played 49 matches after his return. Wanna guess how many he won? 47. That's a 96% win rate. It's like going to the gym after a year off and immediately bench pressing twice your body weight. It just doesn't happen, except it did. By April 2025, Zhao had fought his way through the qualifying rounds and into the World Championship. He beat his fellow Chinese player Lei Peifan to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in his career. Then he kept winning and winning until he faced the legendary Mark Williams in the final. Williams is 50 years old. He's a 3-time world champion. He's seen everything in this sport, but even he couldn't stop what was coming. Zhao won 18-12. When that final ball dropped, history was made. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story, but why should I care about some snooker player? Here's why. This isn't just about one guy winning a trophy. This is about an entire country waking up to a sport in a way we've never seen before. 150 million people in China watched that final. Let me say that again, 150 million. That's almost half the population of the United States glued to their screens, watching two guys hit balls around a table. Jason Ferguson, the chairman of snooker's governing body, said something incredible. He called Zhao's victory a moment that will take snooker to another level in China. And then he made an even bolder prediction, that Zhao has the potential to become the richest player in the history of the sport. Think about that for a second. Snooker's been around for over a century. Legends like Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry have earned millions. But Ferguson believes this 28-year-old Chinese player will surpass them all. Why? Because China is a market of 1.4 billion people, and sports in China don't just grow, they explode. Look at what happened with table tennis. China didn't just get good at it, they absolutely dominated it globally. The same thing happened with badminton, and now snooker might be next in line. Zhao's win does something powerful. It shows every kid in China picking up a cue for the first time that they can make it to the very top. That psychological barrier, it's gone. The ceiling just got blown off. Before Zhao, the closest any Asian player had come was Ding Junhui, another Chinese star who reached world #1 in rankings but never won the world championship. Ding paved the way, but Zhao just kicked the door wide open. Here's the twist that makes this story even more interesting. Zhao Xintong is a world champion who can't play in his own country right now. Yeah, you heard that right. While he's being celebrated as a national hero, he's actually banned from competing in mainland China until July 2025. The Chinese Billiards and Snooker Association upheld his original 30-month ban domestically, even though the global governing body cleared him to play internationally in September 2024. It's like winning an Oscar but not being allowed to screen your movies in your hometown. The situation is complicated, and it adds this bittersweet layer to his triumph. But honestly, it might make his story even more compelling. When he finally does return to compete in China, the reception is going to be absolutely massive. The anticipation is building, the legend is growing, and here's what makes Zhao special beyond just his results. Even Williams, the guy he beat in the final, recognized it. Williams said, "There's a new superstar of the game. It could be huge for the sport." When your opponent says that after losing to you in the biggest match of the year, that tells you everything you need to know. So where does snooker go from here? If the experts are right, we're about to see something special unfold. First, expect investment to pour into China. Snooker clubs, training facilities, youth programs. All of it is about to get a massive boost. When 150 million people watch something, brands notice, sponsors notice, money follows attention. Second, expect more Chinese players to break through. Zhao won't be the last. He's just the first domino to fall. Right now, China already has some strong players on the professional tour, but Zhao's win is going to inspire a whole new generation. Kids who watch that final will be practicing right now, dreaming of lifting that same trophy. Third, and this is the big one snooker is pushing for Olympic inclusion. Having a Chinese world champion massively helps that bid. The Olympics love stories that resonate with huge global audiences. China is the world's most populous nation. If snooker becomes an Olympic sport and Chinese players start winning medals, the game changes forever. Ferguson mentioned this specifically. He's not just thinking about tournaments and prize money, he's thinking about snooker on the world's biggest stage, competing alongside basketball, swimming, and athletics. And it all starts with Zhao. Let's not forget the human element of this story. Zhao Xintong isn't some robot programmed to pop balls. He's a real person who faced real adversity and came out the other side. After winning, Zhao said the achievement felt unimaginable. This is a guy who probably wondered if his career was over during that ban, who had to watch other players compete while he sat on the sidelines, who had to rebuild his reputation and his game from scratch. When he lifted that trophy, it wasn't just a victory, it was redemption. It was proof that setbacks don't define you, how you respond to them does. And in typical fashion, when asked what he'd do with the 500,000 pound prize money, Zhao mentioned buying watches. It's that mix of humility and humanity that makes athletes relatable. He's not pretending to be perfect. He's just a guy who happens to be incredibly good at snooker, working through the same ups and downs we all face. Let's bring it all together. Zhao Xintong went from banned player to world champion in 8 months. He became the first Asian player to win snooker's biggest prize in the modern era. His victory was watched by 150 million people in China. Experts believe he could become the richest player in the sport's history, and his success is about to trigger a snooker boom in the world's most populous country. This isn't just a sports story. It's a story about resilience, about breaking barriers, and about what happens when talent meets opportunity meets timing. Zhao proved that in snooker and in life, your past doesn't determine your future. Your response to adversity does. And when you get that second chance, you better make it count. He did exactly that. So keep your eyes on Zhao Xintong. Keep your eyes on Chinese snooker, because what we're witnessing right now is the beginning of something massive, a seismic shift in a sport that's been dominated by British players for decades. The trailblazer has arrived, and he's about to take snooker to heights nobody imagined possible. If this story inspired you, hit that like button, and if you want more content about the athletes and moments changing sports history, subscribe and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.